Okay, here we go. Stand by. 3, 2, 1.
The thinking atheist. It's not a person. It's a symbol. An idea.
The population of atheists in this country is going through the roof.
Rejecting faith. Pursuing knowledge. Challenging the sacred.
If I tell the truth, it's because I tell the truth. Not because I put my hand on a book and made a wish.
And working together for a more rational world.
Take the risk of thinking for yourself. Much more happiness, truth, beauty, and wisdom will come to you that way.
Assume nothing. Question everything. And start thinking. This is the Thinking Atheist Podcast. Hosted by Seth Andrews.
Okay, our lives would not be complete without a new Gwyneth Paltrow headline. Have you seen the most recent one? She has been out there pitching rectal ozone therapy, blowing oxidized gases into the orifice that is not your mouth. This is why we need actual medical experts, people like Dr. Indre Viscontis, Dr. Stephen Novella. We've had both of them on the show in the past, and they are part of a wondrium series called Medical Myths, Lies, and Half-Truths. And go figure, many of these popular notions, including rectal ozone therapy, are totally bogus. We may have a hole in our ozone. We should never put ozone in our hole. It's weird you have to explain this, but you should enjoy this series and any one of over 8,000 hours of ad-free audio and video for a whole month, a free month right now at Wondrium. You can stream anywhere with the Wondrium app. It's fun, it's informative, I think it's critical, and right now a free month. A whole month, an entire month for free when you sign up with Wondrium using my special URL, wondrium.com/Seth. That's WONDRIUM/Seth. And maybe forward the link to Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't know. Wondrium.com/Seth. Okay, it's rare that I divide a show into part one and part two. But the subject matter is so rich that I wanted to take two different passes at intelligent design. The first is me ranting and your calls. That's the show this week. Next week, we're going to bring on an actual scientist who will talk about poor design, quote unquote design, and what she might do in terms of creating a better design. Dr. Abby Hafer, who is an evolutionary biologist. So she's going to weigh in on some of what we're talking about and offer ideas, design ideas of her own. And that's part two next week. Let's say that you are the intelligent designer and you are essentially playing a large-scale version of The Sims. I guess The Sims is a good way to frame it. I haven't played The Sims, but you are creating your world, and you get to create the attributes of your world. I want to know what you would change about the so-called intelligent design that religious people continue to talk about. You know, they're always like, well, we're so intelligently designed, everything's so fine-tuned. And you and I look around, just a cursory look around, and we're like, I don't see a lot of fine-tuning. I see a shit ton of waste and pain. That's what I see. So what would you change about the quote-unquote design you see? And or what new feature, what novel idea would you bring? What might you create or not create? You are the designer. And I want to take your calls and find out what you think. And this is a creative audience, so I'm really looking forward to what you have to offer. I think the first thing I would do is I would make sure that it didn't hurt like a mother, if you'll pardon the expression, when females give birth. Of course, the book of Genesis says that pain in childbirth is God's punishment upon the woman. You know, How dare she tempt Adam with the fruit after she was tempted by the serpent? It's all the woman's fault. This is the thinking in many religious circles. And so Yahweh, in his great goodness, says, oh, you screwed up. So the curse is now childbirth is going to hurt, and it's going to hurt really, really, really bad. Well, I'm the intelligent designer, and I think reproduction shouldn't make you want to wrap your hands around somebody's throat. You're not screaming in agony. There's no, compression of the muscles and the tearing of the skin. And I'll spare you the rest of the details that women know much more than I do. It's pointless. Well, it needs to hurt really bad so that you have a greater sense of meaning when the child is delivered. Get the hell out of here. Just leave. You're not even trying with that. If it's difficult, you'll appreciate it more. Let's talk to women about that. Don't tell me you wouldn't look down and see a newly born child and feel that sense of awe and wonder and gratitude and love. And then you wouldn't feel it if maybe, there was another system in place. I'm the intelligent designer. Okay, so all right, no stretching and no muscle movement and all those none of those things that cause intense distress and agonizing pain. All right, the uterus doesn't have to contract to squeeze out the baby. How about a timer on the body, like an egg timer? 9 months, ding, your baby is ready. I don't think this is unreasonable. Your baby is done. Press door to open, just like a microwave. Baby comes out, voila. There's no screaming. You're not threatening your partner. You don't want to bend the rails off of the bed and throw them at the OBGYN, right? It's like an Amazon delivery, but for live humans. I think that's a great design. And I think it makes the decision less scary for people who want to become parents. You say, all right, would you like a child? Great. Okay, start timer now. 9 months later, ding. I think that's reasonable. I'd be interested in a female's point of view. You're talking a male non-parent. But I can see, right? I can assess from a distance that this is not great design. Speaking of pain, testicles. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is a design decision I would do differently. Let's tuck those away nice and safe. You know what I'm saying? Well, you see, Seth, the testes need to be located outside the body because the testes require a cooler temperature. No, I'm the designer. I can design a place in the body, a safe spot that is cooler than the rest of the body. Nobody can kick it in there, right? Nobody can kick your testicles when they are safe inside this little house. Maybe encase it with little bones. It's like prison bars, right? So nothing can get to it for protection. A scrotum safe house. This would be part of my design. Instead of hanging them out where anybody can kick it or you can hit it with a baseball or no. That's terrible design. There are other animals in nature. They have testes and they're hidden safely in the body. Why humans? That doesn't make any sense to me. That's a design change that I would make. I would separate the windpipe and the esophagus. Right next to each other, and then there's a flap that has to close. What? Hundreds of people choke to death every single year. Why would you put these right on top of each other, where the food could cause you not to get air and you might die? Poor design. Just keep those suckers way separate. You can still taste the food and swallow the food and digest the food just like you normally would. We just keep them separate, right? Like siblings that don't get along all that great. You just separate them just a little bit. Better design. You are welcome, Yahweh. Here's one that's relevant to a man in his 50s, mid 50s. How about knees that don't wear out? And if you are younger and still agile and have no arthritis in your body, oh, you are in for a real treat. Guess it was 5-6 years ago I noticed walking the stairs, I started hearing grinding. Grinding. Oh, I guess that's bone on bone in my knees. To try to stay in shape, I play tennis 4 times a week. There's a ton of people in the tennis community, and they've got big scars right down where the kneecap is because they had to have knee replacement surgery. Now, you and I already know this is part of our evolution. We are evolved from our primate ancestors who were not totally biped, right? They used to use their arms as well to be able to traverse the trees, the jungle trees, etc., right? It is us as bipeds putting all of this extra stress that was not once on our knees. This is causing a lot of the problem. But if you think it's design, it's poor design. Let's call it a little past midlife. All right, let's say I live to 90. All right, let's call it 35 more years. Well, that means that for, 30+% of my life, pushing 40% of my life, my knees are going to give me trouble. This makes no sense to me. It's poor design. Why would you put in a part that wears out midstream? I would change that. Your knees will last a lifetime. You have a lifetime warranty. There's no grinding. There's no aches. There's no pains. No knee replacement surgeries. By the way, have you seen some of the artificial knees? They're kind of awesome. I mean, there's like sports knees that you can buy. Like they are made for athletes. High-end artificial knees that are kind of badass. But I've also seen the surgeries that they do to put them in. I don't want any part of that if I can help it. I'm worried in 10 years I'm looking at a knee replacement. And I would sure love to have been intelligently designed so this was not a problem. And if you have to replace it, how about an interchangeability model with the body? A part goes out on your car, what do? You put another part in. You replace the part. Oh, look, the carburetor's bad. You whip it out. You switch it out. Oh, the muffler needs to be replaced. The tires are bald. You switch it out. Right? No harm, no foul, no pain. How about a little door? You open it up, pop in your new knee. Right? You're born with like some excess parts. Hey, my knee's bad. I've got a half an hour on Wednesday. Can I come in for the swap? Man, sounds really good. Sounds really good. I wear glasses, bifocals. Now, I make myself feel better about this by calling them progressives, progressive lenses. Got readers and I got distance, and then there's this weird little hybrid, medium spot in the middle that's almost useless to me, and I can't wear glasses while driving for that reason, because if I'm moving from near to far to mid to near to far to mid, it freaks me out. My brain can't handle it, so I actually can't drive with these things on, but I use them for pretty much everything else. I would design the eye so it did not wear out. It did not lose focus. We think about the eagle. I would love to have eyes like the eagle. Did you know that eagles can see like 8 times further than human beings? They've got this razor focus at distance. They can see up to 2 miles. They're always scanning for prey. Or imagine us being able to see something and lock in and focus 2 miles away. Hey, has anybody seen the dog? I let him out back, but I think he got through the fence. Oh, there he is. Look, he's over near the house in another field in a neighborhood that's 500 yards away. I'm just saying. Eagles can see color well enough to be able to detect things that are camouflaged. They can see UV light. Now, they don't have great vision in the dark, but I'm the intelligent designer, so let's put in some night vision. Let's put in some night vision. Let's say I'm omnipotent. I can do whatever. I forgot to add that caveat because that's the claim about the designer, right? The designer can do all things without limits, powerful beyond measure. It's she can design at will. So, okay, great. Night vision. Eyesight would be a constant. It would not degenerate over time. If we did have degenerating eyesight, how about a little knob? Have you seen those new glasses that they market? And instead of getting a prescription, you buy these glasses and they have a little knob, an adjustment knob on them. And so you can change the focus. Oh, you need it for mid? Oh, you need readers? Oh, you need distance? You don't have to change your glasses. It just does that. I mean, they're ugly as hell, but apparently they work. I would do that with eyes. Your brain could just adjust the knob perfectly. Readers, bifocals, trifocals, whatever, that are wired right into our tissue. Something's blurry, no problem. I'll set my focus. I'm all set. Boom. Intelligent design. I would actually allow wisdom teeth to fit in the freaking mouth. Did you know that like 80 to 85% of American adults have to have their wisdom teeth pulled out? The procedure, I think, used to be a lot worse. I mean, it's no picnic now, but it used to be like 4 hours in a chair, and they would just jack you up to get the wisdom teeth out. I mean, it was awful, and it's still awful. I think they've gotten it down to, 90 minutes, something like that. I've got wisdom teeth. They ache occasionally. I've been fortunate that I haven't had to have them removed, but the whole idea that an intelligent designer would give you teeth that almost all people would have to have removed lest they jam all the other teeth and make everything crooked and cause tremendous pain. I mean, that's not intelligent design. I would fix that. No wisdom teeth, or I just make a little extra space for everybody. That seems intuitive to me. How about you? I would create a world where maybe we were solar powered. Less sleep needed. I mean, I love my sleep. So I'm in conflict about this, especially as I get older. When I was a kid, it was like, I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to go to bed. You can't make me go to bed. Now I'm there. Oh, yeah. Oh, honey, it's 9 o'clock. I know it's, let's go to bed. Oh. And then you crawl in under the covers and the pillow's cool and the dogs come in. I've got my feet over and Natalie's feet are always cold. I don't know why. They're just like icebergs. But I'll go over there, and then she warms her cold feet up on my warm feet. That's bliss. If there's a heaven, it may be that. So I'm in conflict a little bit because bed, sleep, etc. That's pretty nice. But it's not like you're awake to enjoy it. All right? But, the process is pleasing. But if we were solar powered, if we were able to go outside and get energy directly from the sun, then maybe we could reduce our sleep time quite a bit and live more before we are done living. I would certainly make it so the sun didn't give us, melanoma. Intelligent design proponents are always like, go outside and look all around at the pretty trees and nature, and you know that there is a designer. Hey, you see that big orange orb in the sky? It's giving us cancer. This is not intelligent design. I would either put hair on our arms and legs or no hair if I was the designer. Like, someone explain this to me. It's not long enough and thick enough to keep me warm in the cold or to help me to ward off predators by making me look intimidating. It just looks like somebody left an old outdoor rug outside for 300 years, and now I'm wearing it. It doesn't do anything. It's just useless hair. I would say hair, no hair. But this half-ass hair that sometimes is actually on your ass, I would not have that. I would omit that in my intelligent design. tons more examples relating to humans, but let's go beyond the human body for a second. I think I'd make sugar a diet food, right? I mean, the reason we crave sugar is that it's a high energy food, and our ancestors out on the African savanna were always on the hunt for high energy foods. We didn't have sugars in, this obscene supply that we have now. So, I mean, those types of energy rich foods, they were beneficial to us. They were life and energy giving. And of course, now we're sugar addicted. We're a diabetic population, and I'm guilty. I mean, I love sweet things. Oh, my goodness. Even when I'm trying to be good, somebody shows up and says, I brought donuts. Ah, crap. I don't have the willpower to pass up donuts, lightly glazed or chocolate covered. I'm in. Ice cream? Okay. We go to the restaurant. We have dinner, and the wait person comes out and says, did y'all save room for dessert today? I'm supposed to say no. I don't. I say, what's on the menu? What do you have? Well, we've got the creme brulee, we've got the tiramisu, we've got chocolate cake, cheesecake, etc. Apple pie served with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. I'm going to get one of those. But if sugar didn't attach to my, stomach, legs, ass, whatever, right? If it was actually kind of a diet food, I think that would, it still gives energy. But if I'm omnipotent, it's health food. Like sugar would be like kale. I don't think that's unreasonable. Or at least make us so that when we hit our daily calorie amount, Seth, today you need 2,100 calories. And anything above that would be excess and might turn to fat. Oh, okay. Well, that's not good. So I would fine tune the body so that at 2,100 calories, everything else would just be expelled from the body. So nothing else sticks. Unless I was, going on a camping trip or climbing Everest or something like that and might need the reserve. I think that's reasonable. This many calories and everything else goes. Just pass it on out. Have a nice day. I think that's intelligent design. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I feel bad for penguins. Penguins have wings. They have been denied the ability to fly. I feel bad for them. Oh, well, they use them when they swim. Yeah, okay. They're still wings. All of the other grounded birds are born with wings and they cannot fly. The chicken, I feel bad for chickens. I would allow chickens to experience winged flight. The ostrich, big ass bird. Can you imagine how amazing it would be to see something that big airborne? I would intelligently design that. Of course, it'd be kind of terrifying. If I was out walking the dog and I looked up and oh God, look at that big ass bird. I mean, I look like a bomber flying overhead, but I feel bad. Winged creatures that can't fly because of the limited wing, or they have these really heavy bones that won't allow them to get off the ground, or they're simply not shaped aerodynamically. I mean, what kind of design is that? I would fix that. Fish that have eyes and remain blind. This is sadism. Who would do that? Here, little fish, I'm going to make it so you can go here and go there. Oh, look, eyeballs. Now I'm going to make them completely useless. I would activate those eyes. Oh, they're at the bottom of the ocean, or they're the cave fish. They don't need to be able to see. Why do they have eyes? Don't go halfway with that shit. Either give them eyes and night vision or the ability to see perfectly in total darkness, or don't give them eyes and give them some other kind of awesome sonar capability. Infrared. I don't know. Maybe not infrared. Wouldn't you need visuals for infrared? We'll stick with sonar. Or invent some new vision technology for the natural world, but don't give them the eyes and say, sorry. I would give whales and dolphins the ability to just stay underwater. I don't understand, and maybe someone who is in the know can help me understand why it might be good design to create an aquatic animal that is forced to surface to breathe. Just let them stay under. If they want to come up, if they want to breach, if they want to, do their little dance, and they're amazing when they do. They come up and breach, and you see the fins and the giant splash, and it's just awesome. They can do that all day. But to have to surface because if they don't, they will drown. They swim in the ocean and they'll drown. I think that's poor design. I would change that. I would create nature so that animals didn't eat each other alive for food. Can you imagine the pain and suffering that would immediately vanish if that was the case? Sharks would not go and tear little baby seals apart. They could be pals with the seals. But look over here, I, the designer, I have created little seal-flavored algae. And the shark can just go over. Sharks will eat anything anyway, right? Just go over here. Here's some seal-flavored kelp. Enjoy. There's plenty for everyone. Lions and tigers, instead of going and ganging up on and shredding these poor animals, oh, look over here. I have conjured and created antelope-flavored protein plants just for you. Enjoy. There's plenty for all. I would make it so that tornadoes never touch the ground, because I love tornadoes. I've been through 2 in my life. I was 5 years old, and we were huddled in the bathroom. A tornado skips right over the house. I am not exaggerating. It was exhilarating. It was terrifying. One of my first memories. And we didn't have a safe room. This is, back in 1973, I think. So we grabbed a twin mattress off one of the beds and we threw it in the bathroom, and we were all kind of on the floor underneath it, waiting for the house to come down on top of us. It was insane. The trees out front, we had these new trees and they were bent over so they almost touched the ground. And finally, when it was all over, we went out front. We lost some shingles and whatnot, but the neighbor's roof was in our front yard. Of course, everybody was like, it's a miracle. The Lord had the tornado skip over our house and fuck up the one next door. They didn't say it that way. Actually, I've never heard my parents use the F word. They've used the other ones. When Mom used to swear, a highly conservative, evangelical, Puritan mother, she would swear every 6 months. It's the word you knew, like deep down in her flesh, in her natural self. She wanted to cuss, but she knew it was improper. But we as children, and she had a house full of us, we would frustrate her so much that she couldn't help herself. And when she cussed, her face would twist up like one of those trees in The Wizard of Oz. Mom, I don't want to clean my room. I don't want to do my homework. So-and-so did it. We're bickering about something dumb. And she would finally just have enough. And she would say, oh, shit. And her whole face just contorted when she said it. And it was so satisfying to see this holy roller, the grand, holy matriarch of the family, the Bible-banging mother who just couldn't help herself. Oh, it was beautiful. What was I talking about? I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent. Oh, the tornado. Tornadoes are awesome. The second one it was a few miles away, but it was in our window. We could see it, and it was approaching. It actually roped out and disappeared before it got close to us. But it was the same house, and it was just a few years later. And ever since, I've had a fascination with tornadoes. I've even, back before I knew better, would go out and chase. Now I wouldn't do that because I lack the expertise, and I've grown a little bit smarter with age. But they're still amazing. So, let's put them up in the sky so we can see them, but they don't come down and destroy lives and tear up property, etc. But tornadoes, that's kind of awesome. But the other natural disasters, I don't think that an intelligent designer would require those to have a functioning planet. I was talking about unintelligent design in a video that I released probably 10 years ago. And there was an apologist who did a response video. And he gave the excuse that, well, if you want to have life, then you have to have disaster. Right? If you don't want life, then, you can have a perfect planet. But if you really do want life, then you're going to have tornadoes and floods and droughts and tsunamis and earthquakes and volcanoes and chaos and panic and disease. And then he went on to say that actually most of the reason people die during natural disasters is because governments are corrupt. Oh, it's corrupt government that's the problem. It's man's fault. Okay, Indian Ocean tsunami kills, 250,000 people? By his reasoning, 80% of those people died because their government was corrupt. This is what religion does to people. Christianity made me talk like an idiot. Lightning storms? I know lightning kills people, but let's create a scenario where lightning happens. We enjoy the majesty, strength, and beauty of lightning, that kind of thing, but it happens in a way that doesn't actually touch us. These are just a few examples of just some of the things that popped into my head. If I was the designer, what would you do? You are a designer. Right now, you are omnipotent. Your creative hand stands over a fresh, new orb that will one day become the Earth. What will you do? Plenty of people queued up on the switchboard. I want to talk about your ideas for intelligent design. We'll continue next. Okay, before we continue our conversation about intelligent design, I need to let everybody know I'm about to get on a plane. I'm going to be speaking at the We Can Reason conference. That's in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, first weekend of May. Specifically, it's May the 5th and the 6th. Aaron Ra is going to be speaking, and Janice Selby from Divorcing Religion, and Godless Mom, and a bunch of other great speakers. And so if you are anywhere near Calgary, Alberta, I will see you there. Details, wecanreason.com is the conference website. And yes, you can still get tickets. And then I'm working on a bunch of other stuff that I will have details for on my personal website. Specifically, I'm going to Denver end of May, working on a Tulsa event in my hometown for mid-July. Rochester is coming up. I've got Sarnia, Ontario, and so many others. SethAndrews.com/events is a great way to follow those as details are coming in. Love a chance to meet you and hang out, and we can just fellowship together, not in the Lord. We can just do it for the hell of it, which is a much better reason. But again, first weekend of May, wecanreason.com for details. We are talking about how you might better design the universe if you were the creator. 475, it's Vincent.
Yes.
Thanks so much for calling.
Yes.
You're a designer. You have the power. What do you do?
Okay, it depends on what kind of design you're talking about. Because if you're talking about a intelligent designer that wants to make the world work right, okay, that's cool and all. But if you're talking about like a mad scientist designer, I'm going with superpowers. Like everybody just gets a superpower.
Okay, so your main thing would not be necessarily to optimize the world or eliminate suffering. You're going for more of an awesome factor. Everybody can, move metal or fly, levitate, read minds, walk through walls, turn invisible, that kind of thing.
If we're going with the God that we have now, the superpowers, because it's more like let's just see what happens.
You just want to see people bounce off each other. Like, this is just curiosity, right? You're the guy who creates the simulation, and then you put 5 rogue elements in a room and you seal the door shut, and then you just watch what happens with amusement. Is that you?
If we're going with like the absentee, if we're going with like the absentee designer, if I wanted to be like the kind of like the designer that we have now, then probably, Like so, the absentee, we'll just see what the fuck happens.
So you wouldn't be a benevolent involved intelligent designer, you would just spin everything in motion, sit back, and kind of see what happens.
I would try to be benevolent, but I would probably have kind of like a little corner somewhere where I put like that little experiment, that little thought experiment. Just to
It'd be like this.
I would definitely try to like main Earth, everything's fine and great and dandy. I would just have like a little corner, like a little petri dish.
It's like Escape from New York. You would just have, here's the walls, and then you just throw some people in there, some rogue elements, and you sit back with arms folded, and what happens, happens. Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting design, and I appreciate you calling, Vincent. Thanks for being a part of the show.
No problem, man.
All right. See you. David at 540.
What's up? I am very happy to be here with you and to be talking with you on behalf of 3 million Iraqi atheists.
Wow.
Okay?
Wait.
I want to say thank you very much.
Where does that number come from? I'm curious. I've never heard it quantified before.
You know, through social media and through all these network, I know we have a little over 3 million idiots. Some of them are still in the closet, by the way. And now I just wanted to say on behalf of them, thank you for this show. Thank you for coming out for years and years and enlightening us with this information. Now, as I was listening to you, I started laughing on this perfect design. Guess what I am doing now?
What are you doing?
I am here making an immediate denture. An immediate denture is, speaking of biology here, is when a person has crooked teeth all over the place. I take them all out and I put new plastic dentures in, and then we insert them at the same time the dentist pulls all the crooked teeth out. So how about some perfect design here?
This is divine intervention. As far as I'm concerned, you're doing God's good work, except you're the God, so to speak.
Exactly. Like I was sitting here listening to you talking all about the body parts and stuff. I wish if I could have a camera to show you the teeth before God's design and my design. I'm upset.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think God would have at least invented Invisaligns or whatever instead of leaving all of that hard work to us pithy humans. So.
Right, and if this was like a design of a company here and there, that company would have been closed a long time ago.
So what is your title? What is it that you do? What's on your business card? Because now you have me intrigued.
Well, I am a dental technician, full dental laboratory technician. And what I do, I make a smile. I am actually the hidden hands of the dentist.
That's amazing. You are probably bringing so much joy because, you often, when you walk in a room, I think a lot of people lead with their smile. And if they are self-conscious about it and unsatisfied or dissatisfied, whichever the word is, or they're embarrassed. I think it hits your self-esteem. It hits your confidence when it comes to meeting other people. So by giving people that smile, by allowing them to feel more confident, you've in many ways liberated their lives. I don't think that's an exaggeration. Has that been your experience?
Actually, every single day I have 2 to 3 patients coming in and leaving the clinic with happy tears. And actually, yes, it does affect me positively a lot. And I know how important it is me being here and making these beautiful, perfect dentures to all these clients and patients. So it's something I experience every day. Sometimes I have young people coming in for different reasons, health reasons. They lose all their teeth, and we make those perfect dentures, and they are surprised, and they have tears on their eye. I'm kind of used to this situation, and I always ask that guy up there, could you made something a little better?
Well, this work that you describe, in my opinion, is humanism incarnate, and it's inspiring. Thank you so much, David. Thanks for calling, man.
I thank you. Thank you so very much, and thank you for giving me the chance to speak on behalf of 3 million Iraqi atheists.
All right. Thanks again, brother.
You have a good day.
I'd have to look that number up. I know there's an underground of atheists in Middle Eastern countries, in Islamist regime nations. And the reason I know there's an underground is because I speak to a lot of ex-Muslims that talk about how they're networking off the grid, so to speak, outside the eyes of the clerics. And they are waiting for the day where they can come out and speak freely without being imprisoned or having their families assassinated, etc. And I am convinced there is a big underground of atheists in these Middle Eastern countries even now listening to this show. Maybe it's oxygen in their ears and they are maybe dreaming for the day when they can join us out in the sun. If you're listening, I see you and our caller sees you, and we our hearts are with you, and we dream of a better world together. By the way, I have to share this story. I saw a video there was a woman who had a tremendous drug problem, and whatever the drug was that she had been using destroyed her teeth. I mean, they just rotted the teeth out of the mouth, and she was able to overcome her addiction. She went through a very difficult road. She was a young woman in her mid-20s, but she lost all of her teeth. And she suffered so much. She was so self-conscious. She was depressed and all of those things. And someone donated to an orthodontist, or whatever the dental surgeon is called, and that person put in anchors and gave her brand new, perfect teeth. And somebody was rolling phone video when the procedure was done, and they put her in front of the mirror and they asked her to smile. And I am not kidding. I got teared up watching her transform. It blew her mind. She couldn't stop hugging and kissing everybody and thanking them. And it was just an amazing moment of humanity. And I think, well, a benevolent, intelligent designer would have caused her teeth to regenerate, would have created a solution, right? We're back to the replaceable parts. I don't think that's unreasonable. Here's another one that just popped into my mind. Dogs would live 100 years, at least. Or at least my lifetime. Is that selfish? What kind of intelligent designer brings a dog into your life? And when I had Great Danes, it was 7 years? 7-year lifespan? I'd have to stop having large dogs because my heart couldn't take losing a dog every 7-8 years. Even the smaller dogs, you might get 15, 16. What kind of intelligent design is that? Why build heartbreak into the human canine union? What's wrong with you? Man, I would design that totally. This is a lifelong friend, and we're going to do the lifelong thing with a long life. That would be my design for dogs. And cats, if you want. I've heard that parrots live a long time. What are the birds that live 100 years? They live so long that you actually have to put something about them in your will. I'm trying to think of which bird it is. They're intelligent and they mimic you and talk back to you, I guess that's how you say it. And they live 100 years. What birds are those? Somebody in the chat, tell me what that is. Joshua 405. What's up?
Hey, I think that you're thinking a little too simply. If I were God, we would just live forever and always be in a constant state of orgasm.
How would you get anything done if you were in a constant state of orgasm?
Who cares?
Joshua?
It would not matter. You would just be simply in a state of complete ecstasy at all times.
I don't know. I mean, isn't much of that about the journey as much or more than the destination? Oh, yeah, right. This is something.
I don't think you could.
I don't want to get too much into detail.
Anyone would care.
Don't you feel like there are steps? There's anticipation and there's fantasy and there's infatuation and there's all of these things that lead up that I think are integral parts of that whole thing. It's got to be about more than just Go ahead.
And they lead up to what?
Yeah, but the fact that they lead to this doesn't mean that they aren't important or pleasurable. In fact, they might actually make I can't believe I'm having this conversation. They might even make the orgasm better because it is the destination, right? You have something on the horizon that you are looking forward to. He's not convinced.
Why not just cut out the middleman?
Joshua is not convinced. All right. What was the first part? It was constant state of orgasm and what? We'd live forever?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be pretty heavenly.
All right. All right. Well, let me pray and fast on this, my brethren, and thank you so much for calling the show. See you later.
All right. Thank you.
I think we did a broadcast years ago asking, would you like to live forever if you were given the chance? And this is a great philosophy conversation, isn't it? If you had the opportunity to never die, would everything become meaningless because you didn't have a clock? I mean, there's an urgency to everything I do because I know that I have a finite existence and one day my ticket is going to be punched and there may be no tomorrow. We are all born with a death sentence. And there's a magic to that. I don't think I'm romanticizing the fact that we are mortals when I say that it gives a real urgency to not waste time, not waste life, to not sit around on our hands passing the buck or worrying too much about what other people think, right? It's my life, damn it. I'm going to live it because I'm on the clock. But if you live forever, does that urgency go away and does everything become kind of a numb meaninglessness? And I've had this conversation about the biblical idea of heaven. You go to heaven and do what? Essentially, you live in a mansion and you kiss God's ass and you do it forever. That doesn't sound appealing to me. Not remotely. And for the record, I disagree that constant orgasm for eternity. It just doesn't sound like... I don't know what to do with that call. I don't know. I'm ill-equipped. I don't have what you need. I'm not serving you as the audience today. What do you think about it? I don't know. 540. Mark, you there?
Yes.
A lot of biblical names today. I just talked to Joshua. Now I got Mark. Hey, what's up, brother?
I love your podcast.
Thank you.
And I love the book by Octavia Butler, where one of the main characters in the parable of the sower can feel other people's pain. And I think that would be great for keeping people from doing bad stuff to each other.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Because many of the people on this planet that frighten me the most are the sociopaths. Those who have no or a very limited ability to empathize. Those people terrify me.
Yeah, so what if we had empathy times 10 or something like that? Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
You could call it kind of a natural karma, right? If I go out and I mess with somebody and I cause them pain, it's going to fall back on me. I'm going to feel that directly. I kind of like that, Mark. Good stuff.
Octavia Butler is an excellent author.
All right, I'll make that note. And if we are ever given the opportunity to design, I'll have my people call your people, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, thanks for calling.
Thanks so much.
614, Justin, are you there?
Certainly am, Seth. Justin from Australia. How are you going?
Oh, I love the Australian accent, Justin. So glad you called, my friend. You're what, 17 hours ahead of me, I think. Something like that, so...
I've just been to the gym. It's about 8 a.m. and I'm about to go to work. So
I'm glad you called. We're talking intelligent design. You've got the power. What would you do?
Oh, mate, if I were an intelligent designer, I would not create people with the proclivity to tailgate you on the freeway. That would be fantastic.
What, will we have some sort of a natural energy bumper around us so it was impossible to get too close?
Oh, I don't know. If I were an intelligent designer, what would I do? I don't know. I probably would have a no dickhead policy.
All right, Justin, there's a story here. Justin, there's a story here. Somebody wounded you, all right? Is it drivers in your city specifically? Because we've got cities here where it's Death Race 2000. right? I mean, it's offensive driving, and people will tell you that outright. Is it that way where you live?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone thinks that they've got the most important thing to be to at any time, and they're happy just to, drive right up the back of you in the middle of traffic. My other favorite one is when you come to merger lanes, and you just get those occasional people who decide, oh, yeah, I'm going to use the merger lane to overtake everyone who's clearly waiting in line. You wouldn't do that in a bank. You wouldn't do that at the DMV. But, we do that on the road because a car is an anger box on wheels.
All right. An anger box on wheels. I'm writing that down. The car is an anger box on wheels. I'm stealing it. Justin. Be safe on the drive back, my friend. And I hope to get a chance to come to Australia one day. Maybe we can shake hands, okay?
That'd be fantastic. Thanks, Seth. Take it easy.
See you later. I should say come back to Australia. I was there for the Unholy Trinity Tour in 2014. Has it been 9 years? 9 years. That's crazy. I think it's Jada at 541. Are you there?
Jabus. Easy.
Forgive me, my friend. I'm glad you called. We're talking intelligent design, and you are the designer. What would you do?
I would create humans with the ability to critically think. Naturally born. Man. If I were to create humans.
If only.
That would be mine.
Where does that weariness come from? Are you like the rest of us where you log on to the world and then you want to go put your face through the sheetrock or what?
I just hide it in a pillow. I mean, there's nothing I can do. If I could, I'd pray. I mean, it's nonsensical.
Every day.
But yeah, it's the more I study, though, the world's doing really well. I mean, numerically, we're doing this better than we have in the past. I think the common sense thing needs to come into play.
More critical thinking will just program that right in from the front end.
Yeah, from birth. You're born with it.
All right.
People can't dissuade you. Anyways, everybody have a great day.
All right. See you later. Okay. Almost said amen, brother. I mean, I guess I could say amen, brother. I was going to say something else, and it just slipped my mind. It's gone. Memory. That's another thing I would give myself. The ability, I don't know if I would call it a photographic memory, because I think there are probably some things that you don't want full and complete and absolutely clear recall of, to at least feel, along with remembering the horribly traumatic things in your life. I think if you could maybe browse those in kind of a database a little more objectively. But how many times do I walk in a room and go, why did I walk in this room? How many times has someone asked me for something that I spoke about on a show 2 weeks ago and I can't remember the specifics and I have to go back to the archive or look up the footnote or the reference or the book or whatever? Wouldn't it be nice if whatever we saw and heard and read and whatever, what if that was part of a database that we could then go back and refer to, and then we could update it? So, oh wait, this information here, I've got a new information. So once I retrieve the old thing, it actually pinballs up to the new thing. So I've always got the up-to-date info. Would you want a photographic memory? I think it'd be great. Why do we have brains that cause us to forget someone's name the second we ask what their name is? Hi, what's your name? Bob. Okay, Guy. I have gone into situations with Natalie, and here's somebody that I played tennis against, 8 times over the course of 5 years. Right? They're on another team, and we see each other. Hey, Seth, good to see you. I don't know who I don't know their name. And I will find somebody who does not know them, and I will say, go up and introduce yourself so I can hear their name when they introduce themselves to you. And then I will eavesdrop. Hey, Susan, I'm Tim. Tim, I'm Susan. And then I'm able to follow up right behind. Susan, how you been? Haven't seen you in forever. You looking good. You look great. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You've been good? Great. How's the family? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I would like a much better memory. I would design that. I don't know.
Okay, that's going to wrap up part 1 of this conversation about what we would do as an intelligent designer. Next week, we're going to go into a much deeper dive. It's going to be a lot more science-y, talking with an actual scientist, and it's going to be amazing. Dr. Abby Hafer is going to join me as we are the omnipotent designer. What would a scientist do? We'll find out next week, and I'll see you then.
Follow The Thinking Atheist on Facebook and Twitter for a complete archive of podcasts and videos, products like mugs and t-shirts featuring the Thinking Atheist logo, links to atheist pages and resources, and details on upcoming free thought events and conventions. Log on to our website, thethinkingatheist.com.